Everybody, we're ready for chapter 3 called A Fighting Chance. Pumpkin was having so much fun. The little boy visited her every day this week, and so did the nice lady. When Pumpkin refers to the nice lady, he's referring to Ashley, the woman who's taking care of him, Deacon's mom. They seemed to like her a lot. She liked them a lot too. She liked when the little boy brushed her hair, and even when he just sat with her. It was nice to hang out with someone her own size. Pumpkin's mom didn't seem to like the boy and the woman as much as she did. But Pumpkin was kind of bored in the barn anyway, and she enjoyed the company. She always liked meeting new people. She wondered who she'd meet next. It only took a day or two for Ashley to realize that in Pumpkin's mind, she was no different from any other baby. She loved her mama, she was curious about everything, and she loved to eat. Despite her legs, she trotted around as best as she could, and she looked proud doing it. "You're like this giant ball of fire in this tiny little body," Ashley said as she lovingly scratched Pumpkin's neck. The little foe had only been at the sanctuary for less than a week, but she was already so loved. And in that short amount of time, Ashley had already developed a recovery plan for Pumpkin. Ashley knew some animals at other sanctuaries who had trouble walking, but could now run with no pain. They had all been helped by the same person. Maybe that person could help Pumpkin too. Hopefully, the horse's spirit would carry her through what lay ahead. It wasn't going to be easy. "We always give our animals a fighting chance," she promised Pumpkin, "no matter how many people say, 'You can't fix that.' We always try." And Pumpkin seemed to understand. "You have to see this pony." Matt was a producer for the Dodo, a digital media company that provides videos and shares stories for animal lovers. I almost made this one of our vocabulary words, the word producer, but I think I'll just explain it to you instead. A producer films content for social media or movies. They basically fund or pay for the filming that is about to happen. So this person named Matt is a producer, and he wants to pay his camera people to follow Pumpkin around. I just kind of spoiled it for you, but that's what he's going to do. So he's think of him as someone who makes movies or videos. His coworker pressed play on the video and held up her phone close to him so he could see better. In a short clip, but Matt was already in awe of this adorable mini horse with the crazy legs. "She's walking on bent legs. That's insane," Matt thought. "If that's something that grabs my attention, then it's going to grab other people's attention too." Matt and his team looked at videos and photos of animals all the time. There was something special about this horse. Her story deserved to be told. He picked up his phone and started looking for the number for Twist of Fate. That's the sanctuary farm that Pumpkin lives on. Since opening the animal sanctuary, Ashley had met a lot of amazing people. She was able to sleep better at night knowing that there were so many others out there who wanted to help animals as much as she did. One of those people was Derek. Well, they hadn't actually met yet, but Ashley had seen his work, and it was really good. She felt he was the perfect person to help Pumpkin. Derek was a veterinary orthodontist. Orthotist. That means he designed braces, splints, and prosthetics, which are artificial limbs for animals. These products help injured or disabled pets move around more easily and with less pain. It's common for injured or disabled humans to wear a knee brace, get fitted for an artificial leg, or use a wheelchair. But animals didn't have many options. That is, until people like Derek stepped in. He was one of the few people in the world who did this work. In 15 years, he'd helped more than 10,000 animals around the whole planet, including camels, deer, dogs, and even a bald eagle. Ashley sent Derek photos of Pumpkin's legs and her x rays. She even included the video of the dwarf horse walking around the barn to show him how Pumpkin was doing her best to walk. To her pleasant surprise, Derek said, "Yes, I can help with this." He seemed very confident. If Pumpkin could be so lucky as to have braces custom fitted to her legs, they would straighten enough so she could walk without any pain. Maybe braces could even strengthen her leg muscles more than the splints did. Perhaps one day she could walk by herself without any splints or braces. Then she and Deacon could run all over the property together. Ashley could picture it perfectly. Deacon's tightly curled blonde hair and Pumpkin's cream-colored shaggy mane blowing in the wind as they galloped alongside each other, whinnying and laughing. It almost sounded too easy. Ashley presented the idea to Pumpkin's veterinarians. She told them about Derek and how he'd helped animals like Pumpkin walk more easily. She couldn't hide the excitement in her voice when she told them about the braces she and Derek had talked about, but the doctors had a different response. They were unsure about the braces. "We want to help Pumpkin, but at the same time, all 4 of her legs are affected," they told Ashley gently. "Her situation is pretty bad. Are we just delaying the inevitable here?" Ashley didn't want to think of the inevitable. They were hinting at the possibility that Pumpkin wouldn't even be able to live a long and happy life. But Ashley knew there was also a possibility that she could. Using braces for a horse or for any animal isn't an easy undertaking. It would take a lot of time just to make the braces and fit them to Pumpkin's body. Once they were created, Ashley would have to put the braces on Pumpkin every morning and take them off every night. Pumpkin would never be able to learn how to put on the braces herself or let anyone know if they hurt. As she grew, the braces would have to be adjusted, but it's much better that she learned to walk now when she was still a baby. It would be much harder, maybe even impossible, for Pumpkin if they waited until she was a grown-up. It's just not something that's done a lot, the doctors added. Ashley knew most veterinarians were still a little doubtful of prosthetics and braces for animals because it was such a new thing. I'm not going to put her through anything that's not good for her," Ashley said, coming to Pumpkin's defense. "Pumpkin is always the happiest pony. She's not giving up. She wants to live and she wants to run." Veterinarians couldn't argue with that. When it came down to it, Pumpkin's attitude was the deciding factor. They knew it was worth a try. The filming was on. Matt, the producer, would bring a 2-person camera crew and a sound technician from the Dodo in New York City to the sanctuary. They would follow Pumpkin around for 6 shoots over the course of the next few months in order to tell her story. It was a risk trying to make a video about an injured animal and just assume there would be a happy ending. Usually, the Dodo told stories about animals who already had happy endings. In this case, they'd be telling the story from the beginning, and who knew how it would end? But Ashley didn't just ask, "What can we do for Pumpkin?" She asked, "What can we do to make sure she's walking again and living the life that a pony should be living?" Ashley had big plans for Pumpkin, and that's what got Matt's attention. That's where things got really interesting, in his opinion. Ashley was excited. The video was a chance for her to educate people on the issues that dwarf horses have to deal with. So far, everyone who had seen Pumpkin said, "I want one," but Ashley wanted people to know about the health issues animals like Pumpkin faced when they were bred to be too small. They often had issues externally and internally. There was also one more important detail on everyone's mind. If the video did well, it might go viral, which meant it would get shared by a ton of people. That was a nice byproduct of Matt's job. He was able to bring some attention to animals who needed help, and in turn, it might help raise more money for their care. Sanctuaries like Ashley's are always in need of cash. He hoped he could package Pumpkin's story in a way that would inspire viewers to donate, which means give money. But there was no guarantee. Thea was concerned about all these new people around her baby. Any mother would be. Being a mom was everything to her. Pumpkin was her whole world. Since arriving at the sanctuary, Thea had been pretty shy and standoffish. It wasn't that she was scared of the lady and the little boy. She'd just rather walk to the other side of the pen and pretend they weren't even there. Her only concern was to protect Pumpkin, not to make new friends. It did seem as though they were trying to help. They gave them food and a nice place to stay, and they brought in lots of people to observe Pumpkin. They touched her legs often, which meant they were probably trying to help her walk. That would be nice. She liked to teach Pumpkin how she would like to teach Pumpkin how to graze outside, and Pumpkin probably wanted to run around with the little boy. He was just her size. Thea decided she'd give them a chance. Anything for her Pumpkin.